Hello, FlossTube. My name is Shanda and I live along the Continental Divide in Idaho. Happy Easter and welcome back to my channel. Thank you to all my new subscribers, and for those of you who have left comments, I have been really lax and I apologize for answering them. But starting with this new episode, I'm turning over a whole new leaf. Season comes a season of renewal and I don't know, just a new fresh start to things. And I have kind of made a decision that I'm going to answer all of my comments. I know that's kind of putting myself out there, but I really desire to connect with all my followers and to answer you back. If you take the time to write me a message, I'm hoping I can answer you back. So thank you for subscribing, thank you for watching, and let's get started on our cross stitch journey. I'm hopefully thinking that everybody has gotten their market haul and started on some of their favorite projects. I today have 2 FFOs. I'm looking over on my wall because they're already on my wall. 2 FFOs, 4 new starts, and 2 whips that I've been working on. I'm thinking I will insert pictures of my FFOs. The first one is Seeking Refuge from the Scarlet House. It was stitched for me by my daughter, and then I only FFO'd it in the framing department. I was so happy that my daughter framed this piece for me, and if I cannot insert a picture, I will put it at the end, but I'm going to try doing something new with my editing. She is a surrogate, and this week she's going to be having a baby, but she is a surrogate mother, and she worked on this while she was about 7 and 8 months pregnant during my birthday in February. I am so just very proud. I mentioned this last video. I am so proud of her. That is only like about the 3rd or 4th thing she stitched, but it is, I believe she stitched it on 20 count. She was mainly a 14 count stitcher, but she found some 20 count, and it is stitched with all DMC that's been called for. And just the saying of this one this time is it pulls at my heartstrings. It really does. So true. So thank you, Tanya, Scarlet House, for stitching and creating and designing that chart. I believe it was put out in 2019 before the pandemic, but it is true, and it rings, the saying is definite true words for us today. The other FFO I have is called Jobiana 1841, but I changed mine to have an ancestor's name at the bottom, Lydia Jane Walker, and that it would be my great grandmother on my mother's father's side. And I enjoyed this stitch. I just got it back from a different, I'm trying a different framer. We have a regional we'll say a regional craft house here in my area, down here in southwestern Idaho, when I'm at this location and not in my mountain house. And it's called Craft Warehouse, and they are in Meridian. And they have, I walked by one day, and the myriad of selections of frames was dumbfounding. And they do still have my Liberty House from Brenda Gervais, and I will probably have that one next time for you to show, for me to show. But this Jobanna 1841 from the Heart Needle Art by Wendy is complete, and I stitched this on, I want to say it's 36 count. I'll scroll it across the bottom because I can't remember. That's why I put the little index cards on the back so I can remember. It's been several months since I've finished that, so I've slept since then, and I don't remember what I stitched it on. Okay, so I'll do the whips next. I have 2 whips that I worked actively on. I did stitch a little bit on little birds during the Blackbird Sampler weekend, last weekend for the first of the month. But I'm not really going to show that until I get more into the summer months, when I'm going to be working on that one a little bit more heartedly. But the one I have been working on, and I started it and restarted it because I wasn't happy with my linen choice, is with original production of Where My Heart Blooms by Blackbird Designs. And you've heard me say it before, of all their designs, this one for me is my favorite. If they could only have ever designed one, this would be it. And now this one has been reprinted, and it's in the book A Heart Remembers. But I've had this since it's been, this little booklet was put out in 2008, and I have never stitched it. And I explained last time why. I thought I was afraid, but I am stitching it with called for overdyes. And here is my start. I'll hold it up there so you can see it. Oh, I just love this design. I'm hoping to have this one done in probably the end of May. I hope to have this one done, but I just love this. I want to get it to the framers so it can be being framed while I am up in my mountain house for the summer. Where My Heart Blooms, Blackbird Designs. I am stitching this on 36 count weathered shingle by R&R. Let me show that to you one more time. With called for floss. Just a few colors. The linen is a delight. This R&R weathered shingle is just a delight to work on. It's kind of far away. I've got a table here in front of me. My revamped, remember those old lane chests back in the day when girls got hope chests? My aunt got one from, I'd say it's probably, I don't know, it was probably 70s, 60s, 70s. And I took off all the raised molding off of it. I painted it a shaker red. I'll put a picture here at the end. But if you can remember what a 60s or 70s lane chest looked like, that had the redwood lining on the inside, and girls got them when they were in high school or so for graduation presents or whatever, for putting some future home items in. My aunt had, my parents bought this one from my aunt when she was done with it and kept it in the family. And then I thought it was just incredibly dated. I had it in my home starting the late 80s, early 90s. And I kept it that way for a while, but then I stripped it down. I painted it this red with a mustard top, and that is what's in front of my settee here. So I can't get too close to the camera. The second thing I've worked on, I'm getting kind of tired of working on this. I'm hoping to have a finish here in the next day or two. Well, I take that back. You'll see one that I'm hoping to finish. Is Ambingdon 1878, and it's by JBW Designs. And I'm working on this one right here. It's just a red sampler. And this one is on 20 count. It isn't overdyed. This is stitched on 20 count Hazelwood by Fiber on a Whim. So it's an over-dried Aida. There's my progress. I hope you can see that when I hold it really close, that it's not reflecting. And I am stitching this with Schoolhouse Red by, I want to say it is General Arts. Yeah, General Arts Schoolhouse Red. And it's almost done. And I'm not sure what I'm going to put across the bottom, but I'll probably put an ancestor's name. And it will fit in an 8x10 frame. So this one I think I can frame by myself in a pre-made frame, if I can find it. But it's also going to go over here on my, I started my Red House sampler wall, and I'll include pictures of that too. Yeah, 20 count hand-dyed Hazelwood Aida by Fiber on a Whim is what that's stitched on. This is in my red and white project bag that I made. It's a red butterfly, or moth maybe, and a red backing. Where my heart blooms is a, I'm pretty sure this is a Blackbird Designs back. It's just their sampler fabric, and then a brown coordinating for the front. I try and remember to show you my project bags. I've been making several. I made a couple for gifts, and one here I'll show you. This next project, I'm going to start my new starts. I have 4. But one is a gift, so I'm not going to count that. And it's for my daughter for Christmas. So she and her husband are pretty outdoorsy. So, and I don't think she watches my videos, so I'm not going to worry about it. Kathy Barracks and Heaven and Nature Sing. And I am going to change this to have their wedding year in the little box down here. I don't know if you can see that. Right now it says 1827. And I'm going to change that for their wedding year. And then I'm going to, somewhere in and up here yet, I don't know where, I'm going to insert their initials. So it's more like a wedding sampler. Because they weren't, while they weren't married in December, they were married in April. They had a very woodsy themed reception, and they're very outdoorsy. So I'm going to kind of convert that, change that over a little bit. But this one I am stitching on pretty sure it's a, oh, it's right here. It's a Lori Holt fabric. 25 count Lugana oatmeal. And this is such a sad, pathetic start. I got the back part of the deer started, his very back, and that's it. But here are the colors. And it is, like I said, 25 count Lugana. I think I'm doing 1/1. I think I am doing 1/1 on 25 count Lugana oatmeal. And it does look, it's got good modeling. You can see it from here. But I think that'll be very, very pretty. So I have that to get done before Christmas. And that one I don't have a project bag done yet because I'm going to make some during the summer. They're already all cut out. They're the ones I showed you, the panels from 2 videos ago. And one I have done, it's right here. I made 2 for gifts, and here's mine. Mine is from the line Branded, and I want to say it's by Sweetwater. And it has ranch brands and barbed wire and kind of more red, white, and blue stars. Some brands from, you know, like ranchers brands. And the back is barbed wire. And then the inside I'll show you, but it's the, like the newsprint right down here, this piece. And I'll just show this inside out. It's that newsprint brand. And these turned out kind of smaller than I anticipated. I kind of wanted them a little bit bigger, but I did the outside from, I'll run the names across here. There's two FlossTubers that I watched to construct this bag. Just the front quilted panel. is Bumble Stitches, and it's her tutorial on making a patchwork project bag. And the actual construction of the bag is from Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. So this one was a little bit smaller than I wanted. I should have made it a little bit bigger. It cut off a little all the way around of all my patches the way it was assembled. So now that I know that, the next time I make these, I'm going to allow a little bit extra so that these come out a little bit bigger. But this one is housing my new start. A friend let me borrow. Pure in Heart by Scattered Seed Samplers. I thought that appropriate for the Easter season. That little sheep lamb there. Me and sheep. And this one is on 36 count. This is from Weeks. It's from Hollis Hands Creates because I like the way she labels her fabric. Weeks Tin Roof 36 count. And sorry, it is a wrinkled mess. There's my start. Got a good start. And I got the L for my last name because you put your initials on each side of the basket. So there is that. And I'm stitching it with all the called for threads. I was visiting with a friend the other night on the phone, and that's how much I got filled in the sheet. Wink, wink. Okay. Yeah, I love these little project bags. I think I have, in just the panel, front panel, I bet I probably have 6 or 8 more to do. That were, one is for my daughter for her birthday. And then there's 4 or 5 more for me because I'm running, I don't want to say I'm running low on project bags. I've got a lot of project bags that I've made. But yeah, I'll make those and then I'll be done for the project bags for a while. So that was the second start. The first start was Let Heaven and Nature Sing. Pure in Heart was my second start. And the next 2 are some big girls, but the first one in my sheep bag from I'll put it across here. So Much to Love, I want to say. She's local to me here down in southwestern Idaho, at our home down here. I love it. I love having 2 residences because I can, and as I've explained in my stitch group, when I'm down in southwestern Idaho, that's my cross stitch time. My long arm and my quilting is up in the mountain house, and that's where I will be for the summer and part of the fall. And I can quilt and get my fix on quilting up there, but when I'm down here in southwestern Idaho, our home is very small. So I don't have even a place to set up my domestic machine. I have a Bernina. It's a Quilter's Edition Bernina. And even for piecing, it was a little bit tough for me. So my excuse is when I'm in southwestern Idaho, I stitch. When I'm in the mountains, central, eastern, let's just say Idaho, I quilt. And I have the best of both worlds. So, but when I'm down here, where I am now until the start of summer, I cross stitch, and this is a new start for me in my sheep bag from So Much to Love, I want to say. I just love these sheep. They look, yeah, it says right there. Facebook, Etsy, SoMuchToLove.com. I don't know if you can see that. I don't have my glasses on, so. But in here is one of my favorites that I finally started. Sarah Casey Unwin by Chessie and Me. That red house just grabs you every time, and it's going to go, if it gets done in the next year or 2, might be a 4 or 5 year project, it's going to go up there on my red house wall. I have 4 up there right now, but it's going to be added to. I'm stitching this on needle and flax. I have to come up with a way to, well, I know how to do it. I'm just too lazy to do it. Mark these so that when I'm showing you these. My fabric name doesn't escape me. I want to say it's Needle and Flax Brea. Yes, Needle and Flax Brea, B-R-E-A. And I'm stitching it with all called for overdyes. And oh, Sarah is turning out. Sarah has raspberries and not necessarily strawberries in her sampler border. Where My Heart Blooms are definitely strawberries because they come down to a point. But Sarah's are more like raspberries. I don't know if you can see that. They're more rounded. And I love it. Look at the modeling on this. And oh, it's just going to be, these are the floss colors. Oh, just. Sarah Casey Unwin. Oh. To be a 7 or 8 year old girl in like the 17 or 1800s and have a love of stitching. I'm sure they thought it was drudgery. Like, oh, I got to do my needlework today, my homework. Oh, but knowing what I know now, if I could have been a 7 or 8 year old in the 1800s, 1700s, Shanda, you have to go do your stitching. Oh, no, I have to. Or, yay, put me away in my stitchy chair for a long time, Mom. I'll do it. Right? That's kind of how we would react today. It's always greener on their side of the fence, right? That's how it always is. Okay, and the last one that is in a project bag I made, I have no idea what this fabric is. And it's red, white, and bluish, I'd say, with a bee on it. I made probably 30 of these vinyl kind of project bags. Christmas of, or November, December of 20. November, December of 2019. It was just before, no, it was 20, because it was after the pandemic happened and I was busy making stuff. So that just doesn't sound right. It sounds further, well, either 19 or 20. I made like 30 of these things. I just cut them all out, assembled them, kind of what do you want to say, assembly lined them. But this one is housing my New Start Elizabeth Charlotte. Ooh, la-di-da. Just beautiful. And I am stitching her with called for on right here. This is from Maggie's on Main, which so glad to see that Barry from Stitch Folk made it to my local LNS, my local needlework store shop. I wish I would have been there. I would have loved to have met her. Hawk Bristle, Fox and Rabbit. And I did just buy some linens from Hollis Hands Creates and a big market haul from Maggie's on Main. And oh, you just can't get enough linen. But this is my start on Elizabeth Charlotte. I started her 3/12 of 22. I actually remember I started her on the very last day I did my last FlossTube. I was thinking, I'm feeling a little frumpy, maybe. Frump girl, isn't that from my Big Fat Greek Wedding? I'm feeling a little frumpy. I need to start something new. And this is my start on Elizabeth Charlotte. Are you seeing a pattern? I do the borders first. And these two are more rounded. They're more like raspberries and not strawberries. Look at those colors. Oof. Let me hold this a little bit closer for you. It's just, yeah, time warp me back to the 17 or 1800s where I could be little Miss Muffet and sit on my tuffet and do nothing but needlework all day. That kind of rhymes, right? So that is what I've been doing. And then the last thing I kind of want to talk about, and not anything earth-shattering today. I didn't get anything FO'd, just finished. But here in the middle of March, I had my quilting retreat that I went to. And we always have such a good time. I think there was about 15 of us, and my mother was able to make it. And my Kool-Aid mom and her daughter were there, and it's at a bed and breakfast. And the ladies were sewing and stitching up a storm, and we had a demonstration. And I've taught there, next year will be 15 years. This year was 14, and I've taught about 10 of those. One year I missed, and the first 2, I just went as a spectator. I guess you could say I just wanted to see what was going on. But this year I took the tutorial Lori Holt's needle book, and I kind of demonstrated that to the ladies. This one was made by Wendy from the Heart Needle Art. She made this and gave this to me, and it has a little charm. I added the charm, but Wendy made the rest of it. She's just an incredible lady, I'm telling you. There, I put some scissors in there, and it's just a needle book that holds, there's my thread. It's just a needle book that holds your thread and your needles. And it's more for, maybe you can make it for cross stitching. I just made it for binding. So when I'm binding my quilts, I have this to go to. It's ready to go to thing. But let me open this up to where it's a pieced back, and Lori has a great tutorial out there on how to do these. The ladies each made one. What I did is I had them bring the pieced part first. It's 1.5 inch squares, 4 down by 7 across. And then we did the rest as a demonstration there at the quilting retreat. So it was really fun. It was a Thursday night, Friday, and half a day Saturday. And wonderful food, great company. We have a gift exchange, and we have a show and tell. It was just a really nice respite from the world at the time, to just divulge and immerse yourself into things that I enjoy doing, visiting and getting to know the ladies more, and finding out what they're working on, and seeing all the different projects that were being created and finished and worked on. And creativity is part of our being. It's part of who we are. You create whether you make dinner, or you're sewing an apron, or you're stitching, or you're creating when you are arranging flowers or creating our homes. And this fall, I want to kind of give you a heads up that I'm going to have a little bit of different programming content. I will still have stitching and quilting and some different homemaking things, but I'm going to be throwing in some different homemaking and just creating content. I'm not sure what that will be yet, but I'm going to be kind of on my own sabbatical for the summer months. I will still be taking care of business, but I won't be working anymore. And I'm going to give myself the summer to kind of regroup and see where I want my next creative endeavor to go. And whether it be through these videos, through other avenues. I have one that's kind of in the works, actually 2 that are in the works that I can't really say much about right now, but they are forthcoming. And I'm actually looking forward to this new chapter in my life. I will still be stitching. I will still be bringing videos every second Saturday. There is a month I might miss. I might miss July. I'm not sure yet. July or August, one of those 2 months I might skip. So, but until next month, May, always the second Saturday in May. This weekend, it happens to be a Sunday. I did record yesterday and it was gone. Totally gone. By the time I got it edited and then started to upload, I do not know what happened, but it was gone. So today is Sunday, but definitely the second weekend of every month, I will be uploading a video. So until further notice, we'll see how that goes. So happy stitching. Stitch what you love. Life is too short to stitch something that you're not in love with. Stitch something that every stitch you go, oh, ooh, ah. Ooh, can I be a little girl in like the 17 or 1800s who just had to do needlework as part of her daily routine and not like it? And sign me up. I'll trade places with you any day. Sarah Casey Unwin or Elizabeth Charlene, I will trade you places, right? But until then, happy stitching, happy Easter. Enjoy the newness of life in the spring. Cute little girls in their dresses and their Easter bonnets and whatever you do to celebrate Easter. I wish you the best, and I will see you next month. Thank you for watching.